All right, guys, as you can see here, it says December 25th, Jesus' birthday. Was Jesus born on December 25th? Because a lot of you people say, oh, happy birthday, Jesus. Jesus is the reason for the season. Let me show you something, man. This is all bullshit and garbage. So by the end of this video, share it with your family and friends and be prepared to have your mind stimulated and enlightened. Open your mind up. Watch this. First and foremost, get to know that who you call Jesus Christ, some call him Joshua, Yeshua. Some call him many other names. We call him Yahweh Shai, according to the scripture. Yahweh Shai, Yah is he, Yahweh Shai delivers. So, your Jesus, man, I hope you know he's a black man. You know what I'm saying? Yahweh Shai, he's a black man from the nation of Israel, from the tribe of Judah. This has been said countless of times in the Bible. If you haven't seen a video I posted, it's called Jesus Was Black. This is my channel here, Shabar Israel, and as you can see, check this video out here, The Messiah Was Black, this brief review. Check that out, and it would tell you that, it would show you Jesus, who you call Jesus. He was a melanated, dark-skinned man from the tribe of Judah, the nation of Israel. So again, he was not this blonde-haired, blue-eyed, red-skinned guy, which is no other than Cesare Borgias, that was placed up under the orders of Rodrigo Borgia by Leonardo da Vinci and Michelangelo. They created this Cesare Borgia and put him in the disguise of Christ. The true Christ is here, left-hand side. Okay? Whether you believe it or not. Now, the white Christ, the Caucasian Christ, he may have been born on December 25th during the winter solstice. However, on the left-hand side, Yahweh Shai, the black Messiah of the nation of Israel from the tribe of Judah, he was not born on December 25th during the winter solstice. He was technically born during the spring equinox. Now, let me show you that. All right, as we can see in Luke 2:8, and there were in the same country shepherds abiding in the field, keeping watch over their flock by night. You see what I'm saying? So there you have it. It says there were shepherds abiding in the field during the birth of Christ. Now, however, if you don't think that, if you still don't believe that he was born during the spring equinox, and you want to stick to that he was born during the winter solstice, watch this. You can get this book here. It's called The Two Babylons. This book is called The Two Babylons. It's just a different cover on screen, but it's the same book. It's called The Two Babylons. Now, in this book, guys, I would go to page 91 in this book. Page 91 says, y'all listen up, page 91 says that there is not a word in the scriptures about the precise day of the Messiah's birth or the time of the year when he was born, but we will figure that out. Watch this. Page 91 also says his birth took place, and it could have not been on December 25th. Even though his birth took place, it could have not been on December 25th. At the time that the angel announced his birth to the shepherds of Bethlehem, they was feeding their flocks by night. That's why I showed you this in Luke 2:8. They was feeding their flocks by night in the open fields. Now, no doubt, the climate of Palestine is not so severe as the climate of this country. But even there, though the heat of the day be considerable, the cold of the night from December to February is very piercing. So Alexander Hislop said in this book that from December to February, the climate is very piercing. Now, let me show you illustrations. So this is Israel over here during the wintertime. You see that? From December to February is very piercing. And it was not the custom for the shepherds of Judea to watch their flocks in the open field later than about the end of October. See that? So when it said that there were shepherds abiding in the field, keeping watch over their flock by night, this could have not been during the winter solstice, because they stayed in the fields all night. They would have not been able to stay in the field under this type of climate here, which is the winter solstice. Now watch this. It said that they were what? Abiding in the fields, right? So when we go to the interlinear and we go down to abiding, abiding actually means to stay. And I will show you this. Abiding in the field. G63, right here. G360 G63, because the New Testament was written in Greek. Now abide means to live in the fields. Be under the open sky. See, they was under the open sky, even at night. So these shepherds was living in the fields during the time of the birth of Christ. And that is a dead giveaway. That's a red flag. If shepherds was abiding in the field, keeping watch over their flock by night, that's a red flag to show you it could have not been during the winter solstice. This man's birth did not take place during the winter time. Look at it in Palestine. It's piercing cold in Palestine. And even if you didn't consider if you still think this a light joke, watch this. This is page 92. Therefore, Christ could have not been born in the depth of the winter. Again, at the time of Christ's birth, the shepherds laid abroad watching with their flocks in the nighttime. But this was not likely to be in the middle of the winter. And if any shall think the winter wind was not so extreme in these parts, let him remember the words of Christ in the gospel, when he stated, pray not your flight be during the winter time. Now watch, let's get that. You see that? So in Matthew 24:20, he said, pray ye that your flight be not in the winter. This is dealing with how the Roman government will invade Jerusalem and destroy Jerusalem in a time to come. Christ had prophesied that, and he was telling the Jews, if you're in Jerusalem, get the hell out of here. But, just pray that your flight be not in the winter, because if you don't consider the climate in Palestine, Israel, it told you, I showed you already, dealing with the climate, it says on page 91, from December to February is very piercing. On page 92, it says the same thing. You see, if shepherds was abiding in the field, this was not likely to be in the middle of the winter, because it's cold as hell over there during the winter solstice. You see? So, this is why it says Christ tell the Jews, pray not your flight be during the winter. When Rome come in, you trying to get the hell up out of Jerusalem, you fleeing from the Romans, just pray your flight be not in the winter. Letting you know the winter time was cold. Matthew 24:20, Mark 13:18, you can see that. So again, I don't want to hear about this happy birthday Jesus shit, because it's all a fable. It's all garbage. We know the truth, you understand? And this day that you highly esteem on December 25th, it's not the birth and anniversary of Christ. It's not. But I'm going to tell you who is. I'm going to tell you who the birth and anniversary is truly about. Nimrod, the son of Cush. That's who was born on December 25th. You see? Let's click into that. You can see here, Nimrod was born on December 25th here. Nimrod. Genesis chapter 10 verse 8. You can also come across this in the Bible. Let me type this in, Genesis 10 and 8. Now, it's not going to tell you he was born during December 25th on Genesis 10 and 8, but it says, and Cush begat Nimrod. Now, Cush is the progenitor, the forefather of the Ethiopians. And Nimrod was an Ethiopian that was begat by Cush. He began to be a mighty one in the earth. He's still a mighty one in the earth, because they keep on commemorating Christmas and giving all the frequency, energy, and vibration to it. See that? They won't stop this shit. So he began to be a mighty one in the earth, man. Because they won't stop celebrating this federal holiday, man. And also Nimrod in general, like literally, he was the first monarch, the first king that established a kingdom in the land of Shinar, which is ancient Mesopotamia or Babylon. Genesis 10 and 9, he was a mighty hunter before the Lord. Wherefore it is said that even as Nimrod, the mighty hunter before the Lord. See that? Because he hunted the souls of man. He was an evil man. He was an evil ass man. You see what I'm saying? Genesis 10 and 10. And the beginning of his kingdom was Babel. That's where Babylon came out of. That was the beginning of his kingdom. So he built Babylon and Reach and Akkad and Calneh in the land of Shinar. That's ancient Babylon. See what I'm saying? So from Genesis 10 to verse 8, all the way from Genesis 10 to 10, it speaks about Nimrod, the son of Cush. Now, who is Nimrod? Ancient Mesopotamian Babylonian king, a Cushite, an Ethiopian. He was the one that was born on December 25th. So when you giving all your energy, frequency, and vibration to this federal holiday known as Christmas, thinking that Jesus was born on December 25th, you giving all your goddamn energy to Nimrod, the son of Cush. Wicked ass Babylonian king, man. Alright? That's all you Negroes, so-called African Americans who are the real Jews according to the Bible. That's who you giving your frequency, energy, and vibration to. You understand? That you got a bunch of Edomites. You see this? Look at this shit. Man, you got a bunch of Edomites, so-called white man. Look at this. You got a bunch of Edomites mocking us and making fun of us, ridiculing us, how we celebrate this bullshit, man. You understand? Because they know we aren't supposed to be keeping this. But we celebrate it. If you're going to keep something, keep the feast of dedication. Don't give your frequency and energy to this shit. Watch this. Let me show you what you really need to be keeping. This is St. John 10 and 22. And it was at Jerusalem, the feast of dedication, and it was winter. So the feast of dedication, that's what we need to keep, which is also called Hanukkah, not Christmas. We supposed to keep the feast of dedication because Christ kept it. John 10 and 23. And Yahushua, who they called Jesus, walked in the temple in Solomon porch when it was winter. That's what falls during the winter solstice, the feast of dedication. So during the winter solstice, if you want to celebrate something, don't celebrate Christmas, celebrate the feast of dedication. Christmas is all about Nimrod. Remember, Christmas is all about Nimrod. Don't celebrate Christmas. Celebrate the feast of dedication. You understand? As the nation of Israel, when Judas Maccabees and his brothers rededicated the temple after the Greeks had defiled it, they rededicated the temple back to the Most High. And the feast of dedication is known as also Hanukkah. Hanukkah, which lasts for 8 days. So if you want to say happy Hanukkah, man, fuck Christmas, man. You see what I'm saying? Happy Hanukkah, man. Happy Feast of Dedication. That's what we at the nation of Israel shall be celebrating. Now, a lot of people don't understand this menorah. I had questions that were shot to me and said, why do some menorahs have 7 candle holders and other menorahs have 9 candle holders? Let me see how many this has. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now, let me explain why some menorahs may have 9 candle holders and other menorahs may have 7 candle holders. Because when you look at the feast days, right? When you look at the feast days, some Israelites, not all, some Israelites don't count certain feast days to be feast days. In other words, they stick to the major 7. In Leviticus 23, it talks about, it gives us a list of feast days. So it gives us the Passover, that's 1, right? And then it gives us the Feast of Unleavened Bread. I just tied the 2 in 1. Some of them don't. And then it gives us also after that it gives us the waving of sheaves that, you know, some tie in Pentecost. But it gives us the waving of sheaves. You see what I'm saying? And then, let me see. Okay, and then, I'm going down. Wait a minute. I'm going down. Here we go here, to make a long story short. Because I'll be here all day. You see where it says biblical holidays? These are spring holidays on the left-hand side. The spring holidays is Passover, first fruits, right? Pentecost and unleavened bread. All these are spring holidays, but over here are fall holidays, which is Feast of Trumpets, Feast of Tabernacles, and the Day of Atonement. If you count all these together, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's why you have some menorahs with the 7 branches on it. See what I'm saying? And then you have some menorah with the 9 branches. Now, the 9 branches is other additional feast days, which some Jews don't believe in. Like you got Purim. See that? That's one. And then you got the feast, you got the feast of dedication, because you don't see. Notice now, you don't see Purim on the biblical holidays up here. You don't see the feast of dedication of the biblical holidays up here, and you don't see. I don't think you see. Yeah, so that's it. You don't see on here feast of dedication and Purim, because that'll make 9 along with these biblical holidays. You get what I'm saying? So Passover, first fruit, Pentecost, unleavened bread, Feast of Trumpets, Feast of Tabernacles, and then Day of Atonement. That makes 7. That's the 7 branches menorahs. But if you see the 9 branches menorahs, that's 2 additional days put to it, such as 7, 8, 9, which is Purim and Feast of Dedication. So that's why sometimes you may see a 7 branch menorah, or you may see a 9 branch menorah. I'm just breaking that down. That's why sometimes you see a 9 branch menorah, 7 branch. Now I'm gonna show you something. I'm about to close the lesson now. I'm gonna show you when Christ was actually born. It say now his parents went to Jerusalem every year at the feast of the Passover. You see that right there? And then in Luke 2:42 it says, and when he was 12 years old, they went up to Jerusalem after the custom of the feast. So his parents went to Jerusalem every year at the feast of the Passover. Now, when is the Passover? When is the Passover? When is the Passover? Watch this. Let me show you when is the Passover. Deuteronomy 16:1. Deuteronomy 16 verse 1. Deuteronomy 16:1 says, observe the month of Abib and keep the Passover. So when is the month of Abib? Observe the month of Abib, Hebrew 24. Month of ear forming, the greening of crops, of growing green Abib. The month of Exodus and the Passover, March and early April. So Abib is March and late April. So Abib is March and late April. It's just according to the cycles of the moon. It's March and it's no later than March and late April. So when he says observe the month of Abib in Deuteronomy 16:1, he says observe the month of March. Keep the Passover. Passover falls around the time of March. And we showed you that because when we was looking at the biblical feast days, where is that? When we was looking at the biblical holidays, you can see right there it says spring holidays and it says Passover. See what I'm saying? These are spring holidays. The Passover falls during the spring. And Deuteronomy 16:1 it says the month of Abib. The month of Abib. What Abib means? The month of March. That's dealing with the spring equinox. So really, I mean, technically, if his parents went to Jerusalem every year to keep the Passover, they was going during the spring equinox, during the time of the spring. They was going during March, no later than late April, according to the moon. Luke 2:42. And when he was 12 years old, they went up to Jerusalem after the custom of the feast. So that's a dead giveaway, because when he was 12 years old, what happened? This was during the Passover. So that's kind of letting you know the date of the time of his birth. When he was 12 years old, that was around the time of the Passover. When he was 12 years old, that was around the time of the Passover, his parents went up to Jerusalem. When he was 12 years old, they went up to Jerusalem. See that? And that was around the time of the Passover, which was around the time of the month of Abib, which was the month of March, and no later than late April. So technically, you know what I'm saying, Christ was born during the spring equinox. You get what I'm saying? And another thing that I want to go into, why the hell they use a fish to symbolize Christ? The meaning of the Jesus fish symbol. Why do they use that fish in terms of Jesus, in terms of the Messiah, in terms of Yahushua? Why do they use that fish? Because what comes to mind? What zodiac comes to mind when you deal with a fish? Pisces. That's the sign of the zodiac when you're dealing with the fish. Pisces. Pisces. That's dealing with the fish. That's why they use the fish to symbolize Jesus, because Pisces. Jesus was a Pisces. Yahushua was a Pisces. This is what my spirit is telling me in the spirit, man, from the etheric, from downloading this from the ether, man. He was a Pisces. Pisces. See that? It is the 12th and final astrological sign in the zodiac. It is a negative, immutable sign. It spans 330 degrees to 360 degrees of celestial longitude under the tropical zodiac. The sun transits this area between February 19th and March the 20th. Now, take notice. It says February 19th and March the 20th. So, from February 19th to March the 20th is the Pisces, the fish. So, now I open up GIMP. And now, from February 19th to March the 20th, right? That's Pisces. That's Pisces. I don't know if I'm spelling it right, but that's the fish. That's why they use that fish to symbolize Jesus, because he was a Pisces, man. Now, Pisces is from February 19th to March. Now, does not the Passover take place during the time of March? That's when the Passover takes place, during the time of March. Did it not tell you that the feast day, one feast day fell? Watch this, guys. Watch this. Biblical holidays is the spring. The Passover is one of the spring holidays. Keep that in mind. So see right there, March the 20th. That's a Pisces from February 19th, March the 20th. Now when you add these two together, 19 plus 20, right? When you add these two together, 19 plus 20, we not gonna add the zero. We ain't worrying about the zero. We ain't worrying about the zero. What's 1 plus 9? 1 plus 9, a 9 plus 1 is 10. Plus that 2. What's 10 plus 2? That's 12. So February 19th here, March the 20th, you take the 0 off, right? Because you take the 0 off, that's 9 plus 1, that's 10, plus 2, that's 12. Right there, that's 12. Now what did it tell you in the gospel? In Luke 2 and 42, and when he was 12 years old, they went up to Jerusalem after the custom of the feast. And that was around the time of the spring equinox. Again, that's why they used the fish symbol to symbolize Jesus. Because he was a Pisces. He wasn't born during the winter solstice. This is Capricorn dates. A Capricorn range from December 22nd to January 19th. See what I'm saying? But Christ wasn't born during the winter solstice, so he wasn't a Capricorn. You get what I'm saying? He wasn't born because the Bible already told us his parents went up to Jerusalem every year during the feast of the Passover. That's the spring equinox. That's the Passover. That's the spring equinox. The Passover is March the 14th, in other words. So the Messiah was a Pisces. Now watch this. We don't know exactly what day he was born. You know what I'm saying? But we do know this right here concerning Leviticus 23 and 1. Leviticus 23 and 1. Now watch this. Let's see. Well, Leviticus 23 and 5. And the 14th day of the first month at even is the Lord's Passover. The 14th day of the first month is actually March the 14th. March the 14th is Passover. March the 15th is the Feast of the Unleavened Bread. So we could just judging that, you know what I'm saying? You know, March the 14th. The Passover took place around spring equinox. And that's why they use that fish to symbolize Jesus, because he was a Pisces, dealing with the time of the spring equinox during the time of March. He was not a Capricorn, because Capricorn December 22nd to January 19th. See what I'm saying? His parents didn't go up to Jerusalem to keep the Passover around this time. That's how you know he was not a Capricorn. This is John 8:4. They say unto him, Master, this woman was taken in adultery in the very act. John 8:5. Now Moses in the law commanded us that such should be stoned. But what you say? John 8:6. They said, tempting him that they might have to accuse him. But Yahushua, who they called Jesus, he stooped down and with his finger he wrote on the ground as though he heard them not. So when he stooped down with his finger and he wrote on the ground as though they heard him not, what the hell did he write? Could it have been something like this he wrote in the ground? Some says the fish symbol. Some says, you know what I'm saying? Because we can see right here the symbol that represents Pisces, right? Pisces being the fish. The astrological symbol shows the two fishes captured by a string, typically by the mouth or the tails. The fish are usually portrayed swimming in opposite directions. This represents the duality within the Piscean nature. You see what I'm saying? And so this is the duality within the Piscean nature, or represents a decision. They are ruled by the planet Jupiter, Neptune in the modern astrology. So this represents a decision, like, you understand? Like a choice. You know what I'm saying? This represents a decision. So when he wrote on the ground as though he heard them not, so when they continue asking him, he lifted up himself and said unto them, he that is without sin among you, let him first cast a stone at her, because this represents the duality. Now, I don't know if he actually wrote this on the ground. It could have been the Pisces symbol. I don't know. It could have been like the fish with the arch up and the arch down. It could have been this here, or it could have been. We don't know exactly. That's why I'm not going to actually literally pinpoint anything. But when you type in this, you know what I'm saying? It could have been something like that. We don't know. It could have been something like that, or that he stooped down and wrote on the ground, or it could have been something like that. We don't know. I'm just like judging in the spirit, man. You know what I'm saying? This is what my spirit telling me, but we don't know. But however, we know if he turned 12 during the time of the Passover, he had to be a Pisces or the spring equinox. You know what I'm saying? So I hope that was enough, guys, man. I'm pretty much done. Pretty much at the end of this video. But yeah, ain't no way in hell the Messiah was born there in the winter solstice, man. You know what I'm saying? But you be the judge. I mean, I made this video so you can get something out of it, so you can spread it and help family and friends along the way. But if it don't suit you, if it doesn't suit you, it's not for you, man. You know what I'm saying? It's for the elect. It's for the ones that is willing to expand and learn and take these things to new heights and new levels. So without further ado, man, I'm signing out. Through the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, double honor to the elders, peace and much blessings be upon the elect of the nation of Israel. And last but not least, all praises and glorification and due honor is to Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, man. With this has been another awesome lesson concerning Solid Foundation Israelite Academy 2023. And I'll see you guys on the other side. Shalom.